Hi, I'm Willie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time here, go down and click subscribe. If you're a return viewer or subscriber, thank you very much. I do appreciate each and every one of you. If you need IT consulting, go to williehowe.com, fill out that contact form, and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. What we're going to talk about today is the theory of about how firewalls, well, and I guess it's more than a theory, it's practical application here of how firewalls process rules. And we're going to use an EdgeRouter in an OPNsense box, and I'm going to show you and we're going to talk about how the firewalls process it and some of the nuances and things you need to look for. You need to really get to know your firewalls when you're configuring them. So first of all, what is a firewall? A firewall is obviously a device that filters or blocks different types of traffic from either it can handle it two ways. It can be from the outside world to inside your network, or a firewall can actually filter traffic inside of your network, or any combination of those. So we've kind of blurred the lines between router, firewall, and all types of devices with the prosumer and the home market. We take a lot of different devices and we shove them into one. So a lot of your devices are doing double duty, and firewall is part of that. So first of all, over here at the EdgeRouter, you can see that I've got 3 rule sets underneath my policies. Now, in theory, a firewall will have an implicit rule at the bottom, and most firewalls have an implicit deny. So if you've got no other rules, everything is blocked. And that's how OPNsense, pfSense, and a lot of the other distributions, firewall distributions, work. If there are no firewall rules, everything is blocked, and we call that an implicit deny. Some other firewalls, like you're going to see here with the EdgeRouter, if we don't have any rules specified, traffic is just going to move freely, and then you have to create a rule set and then create the implicit rule. So here is the EdgeRouter. You can see we've got WAN in and WAN local. If you've been with us for a little while, you know that WAN local actually controls access to services on the router itself from outside. So SSH, Ubiquity Discovery Tool, the web UI, things like that. So here we're not going to allow any of that. And on the EdgeRouter right here, you can see that default action. And that is, on other firewalls, that is basically your implicit deny. Now there are other firewalls out there that you're going to run across that are like the EdgeRouter. And if you don't have these rules in place, the traffic's just going to move freely. And that's what happens with an EdgeRouter, is it will just let the traffic pass because it is not providing firewall services at that point. It is literally just a router. So see the distinction there? So a router moves packets from point A to point B. A firewall is going to allow us to filter and manipulate that traffic. Now, I'm going to actually take a look at this WAN in rule. And configuration, see this default action is drop. So there is like an implicit drop rule if nothing else is specified inside of this rule. So inside of this rule, we have 2 rules, rule 1 and rule 2. So this is where we talk about firewalls are going to process rules from the smallest number to the largest number, or from top to bottom. And I'll give you another example of that when we get over to our OPNsense box. Now, if we were to SSH into this firewall, you would see that this is probably labeled like 10 on the background, and this is probably labeled 20. But that is still the smallest rule to the greatest rule. And so anything that we want to manipulate, I always put my rules in between 1 and 2. And if it doesn't match these rules, it's going to go ahead and keep processing the traffic anyway. It's just something that I've always gotten used to doing. So if it matches this rule, it's going to accept, and if it matches this rule, it's going to drop the traffic. So that's how you're going to want to read rules as well. So like here under protocol, this asterisk means all traffic. So we're inspecting all traffic, and these are actually state rules that look at the state of the traffic. We can get into all that. We'll get into all that in more depth in a future video. But just know on the EdgeRouter, that it's going to process rule 1 first, rule 2 second, and then you have a default action if it is not specified in the rule to drop that traffic. So hop over to OPNsense, and if you've ever created an interface in OPNsense, you know it tells you that until you create a firewall rule, all traffic is blocked. And that is basically the implicit deny that lives in OPNsense. Now, if you look at how these rules are ordered, it is going to process these rules from the top down. Now, look at this. It actually tells us right here, LAN rules are evaluated on a first match basis by default. Right here. This means that if you use block rules, you have to pay attention to the rule order. Everything that is not explicitly passed is blocked by default. So the OPNsense has that implicit deny, and it's going to read these rules from the top down. And so to change the rule order, there's this little arrow over here that says move the selected rules before this rule. So if I wanted to move this IP version 6 rule up, I would select it, and then I would come over here and move that selected rule. Now you're going to see the IP version 6 rule is on top, and now it's going to hit that rule first and then process. So you got to remember, we're processing in order. In the configuration, if you download this as a text config, it's probably going to look a little bit different, but there will be a number to indicate what rule comes first, just like we talked about on the EdgeRouter. So I hope that this kind of cleared up some things, and most firewalls are going to work this way. If you know of a firewall that doesn't work this way, put that down in the comments, and I'd love to take a look at it. Even things like uncomplicated firewall on Ubuntu, Debian, work this way with the rules, starting at the smallest number, working to the largest number from the top down. So if you want to know more about firewall rules, if there's something I missed here and you want to know it, let me know. And I'm always looking for follow-up videos on these in the weeds things. So any questions you've got about how firewalls are processing traffic, leave those down in the comments and we will definitely address those. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, please comment and share. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. Those links are down below. If you'd like some IT consulting help, go to williehowe.com, fill out that contact form, and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. If you'd like to support the channel by using all of our affiliate links and Patreon coming soon, the links are down below. They don't change your price, but they do kick a couple bucks to the channel. Once again, I'm Willie. I want to thank you for being here, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.